go ahead and let everybody that wants to watch on Facebook join us here this morning. I'm running a little bit behind. I'll be honest. It was a really tough day yesterday. Fortunately, though, I think our community, as always, is amazing. We've been hit pretty hard, and I know that there have been some really good things written on Facebook, and one of those was a post that I thought Mayor Brandon Smith put out yesterday. And I'm just going to read just parts of it, not the whole thing, but it's on Brandon's Facebook page. Brandon is going to be joining us tomorrow morning. He's out of town, so he couldn't be here today, but he said he would love to come in tomorrow. So we're going to have him join us on the show, maybe be able to update us on some of the things that he knows. But Brandon said in his post, the entire Greenwood community and beyond mourns the loss of one of our own, Greenwood County native DJ Keller, a loving husband and father. His family and law enforcement brothers and sisters could certainly use all the prayers and support during this excruciating, painful time of grieving. Because Greenwood is such an amazing and tight-knit community, this senseless tragedy hits harder. Let's ensure that DJ's death is not in vain and use the tragic loss of an opportunity as an opportunity to unite in our common bonds and support our public safety officers. Please keep DJ and his family in your prayers now and in the coming weeks and months when grief will continue to rear its painful head. I think probably I picked out, it's longer. You can, of course, go back and read it on Facebook. But I think that's what makes this so impactful, is that this is not going to be a one and done. It's going to be today, tomorrow, I feel a little better, and then, no, I don't. And so we must have the grace to understand. We must have the compassion to understand. Last night, I went by the memorial that is set up at the courthouse. And I think I must have gotten there sometime right before 7 o'clock. And there was one of our Greenwood City vehicles, and there was a beautiful photo that's been flashed all over on the press conference that shows DJ with his dog and Vice, who is still with us, and a police vehicle, and then there are flowers and memorials, and there was a group of law enforcement officers there. I wanted to walk over there, and I did walk closer, but I felt like I was intruding, as they seemed to have a Bible. They were, I don't know whether they were actually having a little service or just saying some Bible verses for comfort, but they were comforting each other. So I walked back away. I stood my distance. A little bit later, I was still there and went over and paid my respects. I just want to say this. When you see it on TV, when you see where there's been a senseless killing in another community, or even when somebody dies, a movie star or something, you see this outpouring and people are putting these flowers in this, and you go, I don't know if you're at all like me, you go, wow. But it never really hits you the same as when you are having to experience that. And sometimes I have not understood why people do that. But it is impactful. And to see people, to stand back and just watch people bringing up bouquets of flowers, to see I saw a plant, toys, stuffed toys and everything. It really impacts you different when it's somebody from your own community and you understand. I will never forget being at the Vietnam Wall in Washington, D.C., and seeing the things that are left there, whether it's a stuffed toy, a pack of cigarettes that's been left there because that was that veteran's favorite pack of cigarettes. Maybe it's a little message. And, I talked to, this is a little off subject, but I talked to one of the park rangers that was actually there helping people find the names of their loved one on the wall. And I remarked about some of the items, and he goes, "Ma'am, you have no idea how many things have been left here over the years of the Vietnam Wall." And at the time, I thought, wow, that's really neat. But I never understood it until it affected our community, the way our community is coming together and needs that place to be able to go to pay respects, to grieve. It's really beautiful. And I hope that if in the coming days that you will have the opportunity to go there and stand quietly and feel the significance and the weight of our community. I cannot imagine what DJ Keller's family is going through. I only hope and pray that they feel the arms of our community wrapping around them. Yesterday afternoon, I did have I consider it an excellent call-in from David Stumbo, Solicitor David Stumbo. And I did have a couple of clips from that interview just to review and hopefully give you some more understanding. And as we start trying to heal our community together, maybe some things that he feels would be important and that he feels are impactful. No, they're not about the case, because we're not talking about the case, because we can't talk about the case. But what we do have to do is look forward and coming up with a plan to heal and make the shock of this whole thing, this whole tragedy, make some sense of it. And the idea that an officer in the Greenwood Police Department lost his life doing for his community is really heavy. And while I was there last night at the memorial, I was taken back by the number of people, because I just stayed there. Penny was sitting in the car, and I just stayed there and talked to people. The number of people who are all in how interconnected our community is. And everyone had something great to say about DJ Keller. There were those that had taught him in school. There were those that were football coaches. There were people of all people who were somehow related to this man, DJ Keller, a police officer, a veteran, National Guard. But that doesn't sum up the total. That only sums up the works. What he was truly a good man. And he was doing what he wanted to protect our community. But he was a good man. So I wanted to play some of what David had to say. I also have a clip here from Julie Miner, who is a house parent over at Connie Maxwell. And when I was um, scrolling through Facebook, trying to scroll through the ugly stuff and see what was heartwarming and welcoming, I came across this post, and I want to share this with you. This was something that I just thought was so impactful. But first, I want to play from David Stumbo what he had to say yesterday afternoon, and of course, that is on our Facebook post. If you want to, I mean, not a Facebook post. Yeah, it's on our Facebook page for WCRS. So if you'd like to watch that, you certainly can. So let's see if I can pull this clip up. As I said, this was, yes, here it is right here. Should be right here. This was on Keyboard Warriors, but about trying to heal broken hearts. And it really is a impactful part, and how it's not something that the government can do. It's something we all have to do. Take it away.
And they have to be treated as such. But what we're trying to do through this youth mentorship program, and we need all hands on deck from the community. People can't just sit back and throw bombs on Facebook and keyboard warriors on social media. What we need is people, investing and saying, you know what, it's hard and it's an investment in my time, and it's not going to be easy. But I'm going to take a kid in our family. We have good families that can invest in a kid that's in an at-risk situation and bring them in and change everything about their lives. And that's what we need. We need the good people of Greenwood to say, I'm going to invest, not just money, but invest my time and invest my resources, invest my family in trying to mentor a kid that's in an at-risk situation to keep them from becoming the next shooter that's going to, spend years and years and decades in prison. And so, we're trying to do what we can do on the government side to partner with the community, with churches, with coaches, and with families. So this, we can impact some lives. But at the end of the day, there is no magic, pill that's going to solve this problem. We have to have the community 100% involved with life-on-life mentorship with these kids.
Well, I understand that, and I think that could be a good program. But like you said, you've got to have buy-in from the community. So as this program moves forward, there's going to be opportunity for families to invest in a child or children to help try to show them what a complete family looks like. I guess that's what you're saying, David. We have too many families that don't have a dad in it, too many broken families where people are just not even really concerned, or as concerned as what we should be.
Right. And that's one thing I love about this program we're starting. And is it the end all be all solution? No. And I think we pointed that out. But when we have good families in Greenwood, sometimes people will say, well, what can I do to help? And they don't really know where to even start. And so sometimes when we have these programs that we put into place, like the one we just started, anybody and everybody can come in and sign up and to say, you know what, I'm going to volunteer to be a mentor. And my family's going to invest in that. And we're looking, and that program's only going to be as successful as the investment from the community that we get. It's not going to work just by government people that are in government already. We need everybody involved. So yes, that's what I want people to start thinking. Instead of firing off the next editorial on Facebook about what they think needs to be done, start to ask themselves, what can they do? What can I do to make my community better? How can I invest in a life? That's what I want people to start asking, and not let me criticize everything that I'm seeing other people do. People need to start looking and saying, what can I do to make this community better? And there are avenues to do that. We got to come together as a community. I said that this morning in the press conference. We can either let this drive wedges in us as a community, or we can come together as a community and work towards solutions together. And I'm convinced that Greenwood, there is so many good things and so many good people in Greenwood, and we can do this. And I want to be part of leading that effort. But we need a lot of people, a lot of hands on deck to make that happen.
That was our solicitor, David Stumbo. I thought that was a very impactful clip from our interview yesterday afternoon. That is on Facebook. It is on Facebook. Anybody can go back and watch it. I hope by this evening it will be up on WCRS 1450am.net. I think the idea we need to start asking what we can do rather than sitting back and complaining is probably a huge part of what we in society have a tendency to do. And so the rest is about some of that. There's some other parts. There's another clip I wanted to take from that. But I wanted to read this. Julie Miner is a house parent over there at Connie Maxwell. And I thought this goes right along with what Solicitor David Stumbo was saying. She says, our community experienced a tragic loss yesterday. I just felt it on my heart to remind everyone about the services and work that Connie Maxwell Children's Ministry provides. She says, as a house parent alongside my husband, we have seen firsthand how a child can change when they have a safe environment, education, recreational experiences, a support system of loving adults. And then she says, and most importantly, an opportunity to learn about our loving and gracious God. She says, Connie Maxwell supports families facing poverty, drug addiction, and all sorts of other circumstances that can alter a child's life. We have a ministry dedicated to supporting single mothers. They don't take children from families. They are placed at Connie Max. Our ministry is a resource for people in Greenwood and all over the state. Together, as a community, we can break the cycle and make the difference in the future trajectories of our children. I think that's a testament to the fact that this program that David is talking about could be a way to start bridging that gap of the inequities that exist. This isn't going to be something where we all get to sit back and say, not my problem. It is something, and we need our churches. We need our churches to come together and help. We need our churches to be leading the way. So I hope in the days and weeks that come that I personally am going to find out more about this program that they're talking about. I personally am going to have people on so that you will be able to find out more about it. But if you are led or say to yourself, enough is enough, you want to help, maybe you should find out more about that program. So I'm sure in the coming days and weeks we're going to hear a whole lot more about this program. I will be quite truthful. I did not realize the mentorship aspect of it. I knew it was being going through the STARS 24 program and that they were going to have an after-school program and this type of thing. But I did not realize the mentorship that they were looking for, the volunteers to do this. So I will be investigating it and bringing that more to you. I also want to say to Julie Miner, thank you so much for that lovely Facebook post. It was an honor to put that out there right here on WCRS Radio. This is hard. This is hard. I just want to say there are so many topics out there, but I just couldn't see myself talking about those topics. Those topics will wait another day. and they will still be there and we'll still be dealing with them. But today it's about our community and how we move forward. I have one more clip because I think that in some aspects David hit the, I'm going to say the nail on the head there. He hit it right exactly. There's a couple of things that we talked about that, quote, our government can do. And one of those things is pass some laws with some teeth to help our law enforcement officers be able to do their job. It's kind of hard to have a mission to do a job to keep a community safe, but not to have the tools in the toolbox to be able to do them. So let's see, I can pull this up. This is part about the gang bill that has been languishing in the legislature, particularly, I believe, in the Senate. So I'm going to start this clip. This is about the gang bill. This, again, is Solicitor David Stumbo.
There's a Senate bill that Senator Greg Hembry, who's a former solicitor, now senator from Myrtle Beach, he introduced it, and it's been working through the legislature since last year. And then we had introduced one the prior session that never was passed. But that gang bill would give us basically the ability to go after not just the people that are carrying out the crimes, but the ones that are ordering the hits. We really need to treat these local gangs as criminal organizations, kind of similarly under in the federal courts that they do with the RICO law. And we can utilize the powers of the grand jury to do that if we get this bill passed. And so I'd call on the General Assembly to do that. We should have passed this a long time ago, but now this is another incident of where we know that we could make a difference in a lot of these local shooting cases if we had a gang bill. We had more tools in the tool bag and tougher sentences for co-conspirators of these incidents. So we need to pass Senator Hembry's bill. It needs attention immediately, and I'd call on our House members and our senators to jump on board with that.
Well, that's where we, the people, can make a difference by making sure we reach out to Senator Garrett if it's
Right.
in the Senate. In the House side, of course, it's John McCravey, Daniel Gibson. Any of those people could be reached out. But it sounds like the problem is you try to cut off the head of the snake, but you never really get the head cut off, and somebody else pops up and all of a sudden is in leadership for these gangs.
That's right. And we've had a harder time taking out the whole organization. You take out the foot soldiers, and again, like I said, it quiets down for a little bit until they can recruit up a new crew of them, and then it ramps back up. And so we need to be taking the whole organization out, the leaders that are kind of the Pied Pipers for the other ones. And a gang bill would help us do that. North Carolina has a good gang law. Georgia has one, so our neighbors to the north and to we need to have one here similar. And Senator Hembry's bill is modeled after the North Carolina law.
Well, it sounds like that would be a really big help if we could get to the head of the snake, I'm going to say, to stop some of this, because otherwise you're just always growing a new batch, right?
Correct.
Okay, now I've really done it. I haven't been on the air, I've been talking. So you haven't heard anything that I said. I don't even know when I turned it off. I turned it off for a minute because we had David on, and it looks like I have done a total fiasco here today. So let me wrap this up very quickly. I am a dummy. Actually, I'm so tired and so distressed about this whole incident. And probably, I haven't even looked at my phone. Probably people have been saying, and you're not on the radio. Yep, here you go. And we can't hear you. Well, I guess you heard David Stumbo, and I have no idea where I missed it from there. But let me just say this: is the part of what we have is a problem. The legislature needs the tools in their toolbox to be able to do the job. This gang bill, it would seem to me, I do not understand why it has not gotten out of the legislature. That's number one. Number two, oh, I'm embarrassed. I'm so embarrassed. Number two, juvenile justice, this $150 a day to send a child to juvenile justice. There's actually 2 points on that. Number one, that should be something that's in the budget from the legislature. That should not be a decision that our local law enforcement judges, etc., should have to make, or question whether they should make that decision because of the cost that it puts on our communities. Number three, Solicitor Stumbo said something about when we have the legislator had taken away the ability for a 17-year-old, 16, 17-year-old doing adult crimes could not be treated as an adult. And he said that is a mistake on the legislature. It gives these young men the opportunity to realize, excuse me, that they cannot act out. Anyways, I am so sorry you missed part of my show because I really thought it was pretty good. I'll close in saying we've got to wrap our community around what we can do. We need to start saying these are things we can do. We certainly can start mentoring young children that need a direction. Our schools can certainly identify that. Our resource officers can identify that. People need to volunteer and say, yes, I would like to be a mentor in this to save our community for a stronger future. We can do this, Greenwood. It is awful, awful, awful that we had to lose the life of DJ Keller. But let's hope and pray that it was not in vain, and that as Brandon said, that he is remembered, and that please keep DJ and his family in your prayers now and in the coming weeks and months when grief will continue to rear its painful head. Let's do that. I'm sorry I messed up today. I guess I'm a little under it too. I don't think we'll have an afternoon show. If we do, you'll know it, but I don't think there is an afternoon show today. Thanks so much for tuning in. I hope that you can go to the memorial up there in Uptown Greenwood, that you can understand it, but feel the significance of it, and wrap your arms around everybody that tries to protect us, because right now they need our arms around them, lifting them up and supporting them. That's going to do it for me. This is WCRS Radio right here in Greenwood and live on Facebook, particularly live when I turn the mic on. Have a good one, everybody. Bye-bye.